Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be working on some synthetic division. Synthetic division is an alternative technique to the polynomial long division method that we've already done. Now, the thing with synthetic division is a lot faster, which makes it a better method for a lot of people a lot of times in that way. The only limitation it really has is that we can only really use it when we're dividing by a linear, right? So if we're dividing by a quadratic or a cubic or something else, then we're not really going to be able to use synthetic division. However, in a lot of cases in practice, in certain questions we're going to do, we're going to end up dividing a larger degree polynomial by a linear anyway. And so knowing this technique, while it's technically not necessary because we could just use long division, can be very useful. And sometimes we may be asked specifically to use this method. So I'm going to show this method. Okay, so what I'm first going to do, I'm going to draw this kind of box like that. And then in the top, I'm going to write all the coefficients in order. So I'm going to write 10, 7, -5, and 1, right? So all the coefficients and also the constant comes very last. Now keep in mind that if there is a term missing, right, a certain degree term missing, we wouldn't just skip that, we write a 0 in that spot, right? So let's say we had 3x squared plus 5. I would write 3, 0, 5 as opposed to just 3 and 5 because notice there's no term with x, and so I can't just skip that. I need to account for, oh, that means the coefficient for x would be 0, right? So just keep that in mind. That doesn't really apply to this question, but it does apply in many questions. Next, in this corner, I'm going to write 4 because we're dividing by x minus 4, and so we're going to basically plug in whatever would make this 0 in this case. So that's going to be 4 here. Okay, then I'm going to bring down our first coefficient, which is 10, and then I'm going to multiply 4 times 10. So 4 times 10 is 40. I'm going to write 40 here. Then I'm going to add. 7 plus 40 is 47. Okay, now 4 times 47 is 188. 188 plus -5 is 183. 183 times 4 is 732. And then 732 plus 1 is 733. And so our answer is going to be 10x squared, because of this 10 here, plus 47x, which is because of this here, plus 183, because of this here, and then 733 is the remainder. So then I'm going to put plus 733 over x minus 4, like that. And so that's the final answer for that first one. And if you're skeptical on that, feel free to go check that in Wolfram Alpha or some other online system. Of course, we can't do that on tests, but I do think that's a really good idea after you finished answering these questions for like a homework assignment that isn't graded, or just for practice questions, that sort of thing, to make sure that you're on the right track, and also to be able to identify better in yourself what types of mistakes you normally make so you can avoid them when test time does come around and we can't just check them. Okay, let's go to the next one here. All right, so here we have the coefficients once again. So we have coefficient 3, 5, -9, 4, and -6 as our constant. And then our number here is going to be -1. Okay, so first I'm going to bring down my 3, then multiply. -1 times 3 is -3. 5 plus -3 is 2. -1 times 2 is -2. -9 plus -2 is -11. -1 times -11 is +11. 11 plus 4 is 15. -1 times 15 is -15. And last but not least, -6 plus -15 is -21. So the final answer is 3x cubed plus 2x squared minus 11x plus 15 minus 21 over x plus 1, right? Because -21 was our remainder, so it was what wasn't able to quite be divided. by the x plus 1 is what we had remaining after we divided in everything we possibly could. All right, one last example, and then that'll be all for today. Okay, so same kind of thing here. Oh, draw a nicer line. There we go. Okay, so first I'm going to write my coefficients. So 5, -3, 2, and constant -4. And then in here I'm going to put a 2. And then I'm going to bring down my 5 and multiply it. 2 times 5 is 10. -3 plus 10 is 7. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. 2 times 16 is 32. And -4 plus 32 is 28. So therefore our answer is 5x squared plus 7x plus 16 plus 28 over x minus 2. And there we go. All right, well, that's it for that one. Feel free to ask if you have any questions in the comments below, and we hope to see you for the next one.